What's up, everybody? It's Brandon from Box Office Banner and Cult Flick Symposium, and I'm here to talk some more Yellowjackets with you guys. Episode 4 to be exact. Now, for me, I saw a whole lot of people actually kind of ragging on episode 3 as if maybe it was the worst of the season. I'm in a Yellowjackets fan group. Shout out to y'all. If y'all check out these videos, I've been posting them in there. I know I'm not the best, but I try. No, it's always fun to talk amongst people, but so every once in a while, even myself, I like to watch somebody else's video and just hear their theories, even if I only tune in for like 5 minutes of the video. I don't have to tune in the whole thing. It's just fun to just watch somebody break it down, even if they're way off, because you can laugh at them, or, you know, maybe they might even share the same opinion as you. And seeing it visually, other than just dry ass text, but like full on, almost like you can converse with them. You know, you could even write down in the comments below. Maybe I could even have you on a video. Yes, we could do that. I'd love that. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking on my ass here. I have done interviews before, so why not? You know, if there's a big fan of Yellowjackets, maybe I have you on the podcast and we can just talk it up. Yes, love that shit. But a lot of people in that group I'm seeing, and that's I gotta clarify because it's almost like solely what I'm basing it off of. The Facebook group, Yellowjackets. I think it's just called Yellowjackets. Maybe I'm crazy. I'm gonna have to really map that out. Next video, I'm gonna come correct with the right title if it's not just Yellowjackets. But I've seen a lot of people ragging on episode 3 as if episode 3 was bad, and that was my favorite episode of the season. I've absolutely loved episode 3. In terms of just balance, consistently engaged, progressing the story, I loved episode 3. Now, episode 4, what we're here to talk about today, this is actually my least favorite episode. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's good. It's fine. But what will probably make this video a shorter one in comparison to the other ones I've done. Now, I say that, and a lot of times I eat my own words. It actually ends up being the longest video. You know how that goes. For me, it was just a lot more of the same. You know, we are progressing the story. We're inching closer to new things, but it was a lot more of what we've already seen. But there's 3 phases at the end of this episode that were just, that just really, like, didn't save it. Like I said, it was good, but really won me over with this episode to where I ended up having a great time by the end of it. Like I said, not a lot has really changed. Nothing crazy happened in this episode. You got Misty and I will remember this motherfucker's name eventually, people. Elijah Wood's character, same shit with them. They're just growing, and then not just the fact that they're growing, they're just still such a perfect couple. And not only do they seem like the same person, except of the opposite sex, obviously, but we see that in a scene when they're at the hotel, and you know, they got this like weird fucking lover type of thing going on. You can see it coming, and I really hope it does, and I don't see how it doesn't. But you see Elijah Wood like, yeah, I think maybe we could do 2 rooms, and Misty's like, no, 1. And then they end up in the different rooms. It does the side-by-side, and they're just completely the same, literally doing the exact same thing, even down to like raising up out of bed, almost just like, should I go to the room to see what's going on? I love everything about them. I'm really looking forward to where we can get the full-on, you know, no strings attached, where we completely shoot them out of the cannon and let them be who they really are with each other and, you know, finishing each other's sentences type shit. I'm really looking forward to that because they're already great, but I think they can be even greater. And once that's unleashed to its full potential, look out. Because, I mean, they're the best. Even down to, like, when they were in the car, and like Elijah Wood's giving Misty a lot of props, saying just like not many friends would relentlessly just go after their friends and try to protect them and make sure they're okay like you are. And then she called him out for being a big fan of Yellowjackets, and he was like, I mean, no disrespect, because I know I was really tough on you probably mentally and what have you and harmful, but that's probably the least interesting thing about you. So hopefully he's not full of shit. I would actually be really disappointed if that is the twist. You know, it's like, oh my God, he is involved in that. That's always a threat. You know, you could be like, Brandon, but he said that he's not interested. But like, come on, of course he's going to fucking say that. So hopefully don't go that route. I just want him and Misty to just have this happily ever after because they're so fucking cute together, are they not? Jesus, and they work so well together. Shauna and Jeff, dude. Callie is in the mix now. That's really interesting. I do like that part of this episode out of every other storyline. Quick tidbit on Thaisa. We'll just jump into that real quick before I segue back to Shauna. It's just she's on a journey the whole fucking episode. You're like, where is she going? Much to, what I said and what I expected, and I think everybody expected. When she saw her reflection in the mirror, it said go to her, and you were thinking maybe it was like the wife, but actually, like, in the mirror, she's like doing this. It almost looked like her reflection's doing that. I said in the last review, it looks like almost like what Van would look like with her bandages. And Van's got to come in at some point, right? That's where she's got to be going, and that's the journey she's on. We'll circle back around to that. As far as Shauna goes, though, telling Callie, because, I mean, at a certain point, your hand is forced, though, because she's sitting there with Callie, and Callie's had the driver's license pictured where they didn't fully burn Adam's ID, and she's just had it. She's held on to it. We've even seen her staring into it. God knows what she's thinking. And apparently what she was thinking was true. And, obviously we knew that as viewers. And now Shauna's revealed that it is in fact true. Because she hears, that's the first thing that, like, makes her find the picture that wasn't fully burned up inside of Callie's drawer. That Shauna thought she had rid herself of the evidence. Got to be smarter than that, Shauna. Is because she's like talking to the other parent that I forget the girl's name, but the girl that Callie's been sleeping over with, Shauna encounters that girl's mom in like a parking lot or whatever. It's just like, hey, I just want to thank you. Like I should probably be like, you're basically like her second mom, whatever she says, small talk between parents. And she's like, Callie hasn't stayed with us in weeks. And then Shauna immediately goes into investigative mode, finds the picture of the driver's license that they burned. And she knows immediately she's got to find Callie. And all the weirdness that has been happening with Callie, like, she's always kind of been oddballish to me, but like, like it's not just present to us. Obviously, Shauna is picking up on this shit too as a mother, even though she's so caught up in her own things. Mother's intuition's going to win out at some point. So she takes Callie to the middle of nowhere. Callie's even complaining, like, no bars, such a fucking kid move. Even though, let's be honest, I'd be doing the same thing. I'm like, I don't get any signal out here. Yeah, sits her on the hood. She's tapping it like, come here. And I'm really surprised that she told Callie all this. I was not expecting that. But at the same time, Shauna's so just like, like nonchalant about the craziest shit. I guess because the crazy ass life that we now know and haven't even fully seen develop that she's lived and been through. Like, you can't be surprised just because it's her. She's literally at this point in the show, the type of insanity that she can bring. But you still in a weird way get lulled to sleep because Melanie Linsky, it's not just, I think, the character, but it's also just how she is. She has such a bubbly, nice, just vibe to her at all times that you forget, even in the show, you're like, wait a minute, this is fucking Shauna, dude. She's capable of crazy shit. Why would she not just say, fuck it, I'm going to tell her? And you know what? Maybe they can build some trust here because, Callie's just calling her on it. She's just like, I'm no more lies. If you tell me one more lie, and Sean's just like, fuck it, I'm going to tell my kid. But as much as I want to say we can trust Callie here, that one cop, dude, I just think he's going to be a problem. That's not over yet with him. The cop that met Callie in the bar, and he's going to end up getting in closer, and she's not going to know who he is. And then if they form a love interest, she could potentially, legitimately, I could see it be like, all right, you can't fucking tell anybody. He's like, oh, of course, I'll never tell anybody. He's just like, you don't actually have a pen and pad, but he's got the mental pen and pad, like, oh my God, I got her to break. And she's going to be fucking revealing this. I could see that later in the season. And then they're going to have to kill this cop. Maybe even, I wouldn't be surprised if Callie kills the cop. And that's now another twist into the mix of things where, Jeff is going in on Shauna. He's already upset because it's been revealed that Shauna has told Callie now, where Jeff is just like, he's already saying, like, they met in the kitchen there. He was just like, what we're supposed to shield our kid from this. You've made our daughter an accomplice. I could see that being a plot point going forward where maybe even Callie has to be the person that kills this cop. If, in fact, any of this happens, this is just where I feel the story's going. And then now, towards the end, or maybe the end scene, at least with the adult characters, Shauna and Jeff have to juggle that as they have another fucking wrench thrown into their relationship. I could definitely see that becoming a huge problem and turning into that organically over time. So that's going to be interesting. As far as Nat goes and Lottie, Nat got to go with Lisa, you know, the girl that she fucking almost stabbed in the fucking eyeball, but she had that block up. You know, it's kind of cool seeing their relationship grow, and Lisa's starting, you know, come around. Like, she's been developing into more of a character. Like, she doesn't seem like she's just the one-off episode. We kind of already felt that in the prior episode, but they're explaining her more, so I'm more and more interested to get to know her. We saw her relationship with her mom, how depressed she is. And, you know, her and Nat seem to be forming a good relationship, and Nat is continuing to do what I wanted to do, kind of picking at what is this compound, what's going on. Lottie, oh my God, dude. This is where this episode gets interesting. Like I said, the last 3 phases of the end of the episode are what just nailed this episode down. Lottie is going and asking for more pills because she's having visions again. And a key thing that you need to catch here is she says she has something good going on now, speaking of the compound, but last time she was having visions, bad things had to happen, essentially is what she said. Now, cut back to when they're young. Everything's going on when they're young. It's basically just this big fucking, you know, fight for, like, who can get the best game. They're calling out Natalie, young Nat, saying that she can't measure up to Lottie, and Lottie could do all this. She didn't even need a gun, so they have a friendly wager. Lottie goes her own way, Natalie goes her way, and they're going to see who comes back with more to eat. And Natalie actually finds, like, an elk or some type of fucking moose, whatever the fuck I'm looking at right now. A big deer-like creature, frozen in ice, and she ends up doubling back, calling everybody to come get it. Of course, the 2 girls that are stuck up Lottie's ass the most are like, no, we cannot do this. We talked about it. We can't cheat in the game. And everybody's like, what the man, fuck your game. This is a full-on elk out here that we can get. This is not about the game anymore. This is about life or death. And by the way, completely agreed. Fuck the game. The game sounded cool as a premise, but when you're talking about a full-on thing of meat that can supply y'all for a strong amount of time in this winter environment, you need that shit. All games and bets are off. Good God, what is your type of commitment to Lottie? And that's what makes me think even more that this could get very dangerous. Because if they are literally, those 2 girls especially, mainly the one chick with the darker hair, the white chick, if she's on the level of just like, you know what, fuck that moose if we're going to cheat in the game, because she is prioritizing Lottie winning over actual food. These are these little fucking things that, like, you can pick up on that just kind of show you what they are going to turn to in the future, that they are capable of that. Why in the hell would her mindset be on that? That is the type of shit a cult leader can do, and that is very, very dangerous. And then Lottie's going back to the plane. And oh my God, dude, she also cuts her fucking hand, which we're about to talk about that, because adult Lottie does that too. And she's trying to, you know, come up with her own food, and then she's over here passing out. What's her damn, I know at any other time, the one girl that crashed the plane with the teddy bear, she's having like a flashback when she goes inside the plane, or not a flashback. She's basically hallucinating and having this dream-like thing where she's in a mall and everything's normal. The whole Yellowjackets team is there, and basically the girl from the plane that crashed, God, know her name any other time, tells her, Lottie, you gotta go or you're gonna die. So Lottie gets brought back. Nat and the crew, they were so close to pulling this damn elk out of the water, but it ended up falling all the way to the bottom of this lake. And it was a beautiful shot of, like, the way Nat just put her head in there and the despair on her face as they're trying to pull her up, and just watching all this fucking food just slowly drift to the bottom. I thought it was a beautiful shot, and it was very haunting in the way it was executed. It's just like, just imagining all that slipping away, and it was right at your damn fingertips, and it was all because you weren't strong enough. And maybe you would have been strong enough if you had enough fucking food, which is a double fuck you. So just a great scene overall. And then they all, you know, come back. They have their moment. Lottie looks like she's in trouble, but Nat says, hey, let's get her to the bath, warm her up. Lottie appears to be fine now, and of course we know she's fine in the future. But there's a lot of things going on there that makes you think, like, what are they capable of? And also lends its hat to sacrifice, I think, even more, because that's what leads into older Lottie. Remember what I just talked about, where she was talking to the girl about upping her meds and all that, because she could not have these visions and everything come back, because the last time she did, there was bloodshed, basically. Everything went wrong. Now, cut to Lottie still experiencing these visions, not having, her meds, like, raised at any point, and she goes over, much like she would do when she was younger, and she cut her fucking hand, and she knelt down in front of, like, that little tree stump type thing. And when she did that shit, she said, "Please let this be enough." Now, this insinuates that there needs to be more blood, essentially. I mean, what else can you take from that? Her saying, "Please let this blood be enough," insinuates that more blood needs to be shed, aka where can you get more blood? A human body, a sacrifice. Cut back to what she's saying to the girl about upping her meds. The last time something like this happened with my visions, something bad happened. Everything is going good now of what she's trying to do going forward, which could easily show you when she was younger and she cut her fucking hand when she was going to get the hunt for wild game, that maybe that blood wasn't enough, it never was enough, and they ended up having to sacrifice someone because those visions, that was the only thing that put all that stuff in her head and all the bad things to bed. Her as an adult cutting her hand again and saying, "Please let this be enough," aka bloodshed, that really points to that we are going to get a sacrifice soon. I don't see any other way you can take all those things added up together. How can you pull anything else from that? Which makes it very interesting. If you piece all those things together, you probably can, because it doesn't take a genius. But if you didn't, boom, there you go, because I think it's pretty damn obvious. And another thing that's interesting about that is the compound, where I didn't trust the compound at all at first. What's interesting about it is she's saying, like, last time these visions came back, like, there's no reason for her to cut her hand and act as if, like, just play a game with the viewer. Because she has nobody to impress. There's nobody around. There's no reason for her to play a game with our heads as a viewer, because we're not actually there. We're just viewing it from our TV. It's a fictional fucking show. There's no reason for her to fuck with our heads and to lead us to believe she's actually got a nice compound here. She's like, "No more, let this bloodshed be enough." This would also insinuate that the compound is actually not a bad place. When she's pouring her heart out, asking for more meds, saying just like, "This is a good place. The last time these visions came back, everything went bad." It now would seem that the compound maybe actually isn't bad. Now, that doesn't mean there's not secrecies and other weird shit going on, but at least there seems to be good intentions from Lottie dumped into it. But sacrifices happen. And does that all go all the way back to when they're in the wilderness? Or maybe Travis, where we don't necessarily trust Lottie about, if she knows what happened to Travis, if she killed Travis, maybe the last time she had these visions and she was hoping let this bloodshed be enough, maybe Travis was a sacrifice. These are little doorways that open up that have me very curious. And then, of course, you have Javi being found with young Ty. Fucking Van's doing everything for her to make Ty see that she has a bigger piece and place in all this, and Van's only further fucking proving it. And as she's proving it, Ty, still seems reluctant to believe it, but they got led right to Javi looking for the symbol on the tree. And Javi being alive, that really starts up some shit now, because this is something I talked about. I really think Lottie's not lying about Javi being alive, because again, just like I'm talking about a second ago, why would there be a reason for her to lie about that? And we're trying to showcase in the show that she is more than an average person. We're going to bring this back around, and this is also a good way to cause a divide between Travis and Nat, because it would be a good plot point going forward if Travis realizes that Nat fucking made it look like Javi died and Lottie was right, and it would turn more people over to Lottie, like this girl tried to say, and Lottie gets even more of an army behind her, and Travis is going to turn on Nat. Sure enough, what has happened? Nat's standing against the door like, "Oh shit, Javi's alive. I look like a piece of shit now." Even if her heart was in the right place, because she was holding out hope, but she didn't want him to have false hope and just walk around in the nothingness forever. And again, who could be Nat in that situation? To just continuously go for something that should be impossible. But on the show, nothing's impossible. But in Nat's mind, I completely understand why she thinks it's impossible. It would make it seem as if Javi died so they can get back on with life and make the best out of this shit situation they're in. But then in comes Javi and Nat's world crashes. So that's going to be interesting from the standpoint of pushing more people into Lottie's arms away from Nat. And then also Travis and Nat, just to have a complete divide there. And then, of course, you get Thaisa, where she's going. How fucking cool is it? Van, but not just Van. She works at this like VHS shop. I'm a huge movie head, not just a show head, if you can see behind me. I mean, I could probably open up my own, Blu-ray fucking Blockbuster, Brandon Blockbuster over here. So seeing Van, like, her job is, she's got like, what the fuck? She got like Footloose in the background, like a main attraction type of thing behind her. She's got a Train Spotting back there. A few movies. It's really cool, dude, to just see that like that's her job as a movie head and movie freak. Like I'm super, stoked to like, so this is what the fuck Van's been up to. That's what's up. And then just to have Van and Thaisa lock eyes and kind of just like Thaisa and like to be shocked before they could even say a word. And then Thaisa just like Van. Perfect way to end the episode because as I've said, and I'm sure y'all have been the same way, what happened exactly with these two? And we can finally delve into it. I knew Van had to come on soon because, I mean, she wasn't like she's going to come in the second half of the season. We're almost midway point. Perfect timing for it. Can't wait for the next episode. And then after next episode, people, if you don't know, there will be a 2-week break instead of a normal 1-week break after episode 5. It's not like a full-on mid-season finale, but like mid-season. Then we'll have an extra week off, and then we'll jump right back into the last 5 episodes, which I will naturally do here because I won't have anything to review. But, man, show is good, people. Even the last, I'm still shocked. There's been some hate. There always is. But, man, like, even my least favorite episode, what it really tied in, like I said, in those the locks with Lottie realizing what's to come even more now with the sacrifices and like maybe the compound actually isn't a bad place after all, and seeing like how scared Lottie is, and then fucking seeing what happened, finding Javi, and then what that's going to do with Lottie as a kid version of Lottie to like make her gain more followers and make Nat look like a piece of shit. I'm telling y'all that's definitely coming. And then you got the third factor, Van and Thaisa locking eyes. We're fucking loaded up, ready to go for episode 5. And whew, show's just getting better and better, people. And what I tell you, I said this is going to be an easy, quicker one than what I've done. And this is the longest one I've done yet. That is just how it works. People, buzz, buzz. Love you guys. Peace.